Afternoon. I hope everybody's doing okay. I know I was explaining to you earlier that I actually can't see you guys. I can see when you've been signed in, but I can see all your little messages saying good afternoon, and it's really, really nice that you're all here anyway, having a lesson with me. I'm so excited. So today, what we're going to do for our lesson is we're going to talk about verbs and imperative verbs. And I know you did this last week in English. You were talking all about instructions. But what we're going to do today is just going to have a little recap on it. We're going to go over it again, just so we're sure that we know it and kind of practice it a little bit. I hope everybody can hear me. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Ah, I can see. Hold on for a minute. Can everybody hear me? Yeah? Okay, good.
Yes.
Am I loud enough? Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. I can hear people. Oh my God, that's so nice. Okay. I don't feel like I'm talking to a blank screen now. That's amazing. If you can hear me, wait till I turn up my volume a little bit. Will I see if, oh, it's up as high as it can go. Okay, perfect. Well, hi, everybody. Really good to see some of you. And I'm so glad to be here. And we're going to talk about verbs and imperative verbs. Again, I know you did it last week, but we're going to practice it to see how much we understand. I'm sure you understand so much. And I'm very excited to be here with you today. Okay, so a verb is a special word. It's an action word or a doing word.
A verb is a thing what you do.
It's something that you do. It's an action word or a doing word. So let's do some clapping. Can I see everybody clapping? Clapping? A little bit of waving. Waving. We're all very good at this on Zoom. Everybody's waving. Let's do a little bit of yawning. Oh, yawning. Oh, so much yawning. So tired. Let's do a little bit of jumping. I'm going to jump. Are you guys ready? Jump. Jumping. I don't see jump. Oh, I see one jumper. No, jumping. More jumping. Brilliant. Let's do some pointing. Can you point? Point. Point to your nose. Point to your hair. Point to your ear. Point to your mouth. Let's do some pointing. Brilliant. Now, an imperative verb is a very bossy verb. It's really bossy. It's an action word that gives us a command. It's really bossy. So I'm going to be super bossy now for a minute. I mean super bossy. Are you ready? Clap. Wave. Are you all waving? Yawn. Huge yawn. Jump. Jump. And point. Point. So, you know know a verb is an action word? You know an imperative verb is a command and it's quite bossy. So, what word can we see here? Sing. La 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 la. Let me see you all singing. La 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 la. Now, cough. Cover your mouth. Cough. Very good. Laugh. Laughing. Laugh. Now, tree. Is that a verb? No, Miss Gallivan, that's not a verb. A verb is an action word. That looks like a noun to me. Not an action word, a noun. What about dog? Is dog an action word, a doing word, or a command? No, it's not. It's a person, a place, or a thing. So we know it's not an action word or a doing word. What about whisper? Let me hear you whispering. Whisper, whisper, whisper. That's definitely a doing word. We are whispering. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Now I'm going to try and trick you. What's this? A banana, Miss Gallivan. Don't be silly. That's not an action word. That's a noun. So we know that a verb is an action or a doing word, and an imperative verb is an action or a command. It's very bossy. It's an action word that gives us a command. It's super bossy, really bossy. Now, what do we know about imperative verbs? What do we know about them? Have a little think. Can anybody type in an answer to me? What do we know about imperative verbs? I'll give you a moment. Anybody got anything for me? Let Miss Gallivan think. An imperative verb oh, very good. They give you an instruction. Very good. They do give you an instruction. Yes, they do. Very good. They are super bossy. And yes, I can see an answer. They tell you what to do. They're in our instructions that you were working with last week. Very, very good. Do you know another thing about imperative verbs? They come at the beginning of a sentence. And yes, they do tell somebody to do something. And we use them when we're giving instructions. We definitely do. So, for example, sometimes when you're in school, you hear teachers saying, line up at the door, or sit down in your seat, or no talking, please. So they are instructions. Sit in seats, line up at the door. All of those are imperative verbs. And we're using them to give instructions. We also see them in recipes and in cookbooks. And yes, they do tell you what to do. We see them in recipes and cookbooks. And we saw them in How to Wash a Woolly Mammoth last week. So you had instructions on how to wash your woolly mammoth, which was absolutely amazing. Do you remember year one? A while back in school, we made jam sandwiches. And we looked at recipes and instructions. So, for example, I remember my class, Foxglove. First of all, we said, get 2 slices of bread. Put the butter on the bread. Spread the jam on the bread. Cut your sandwich in half. and we really, really enjoyed making those sandwiches, but we followed instructions and we heard imperative verbs or commands telling us what to do. Now, I have a lovely PowerPoint to show you guys, so I'm going to share the screen with you. Thank you for typing in all of those lovely answers. I'm going to share the screen with you now, and we'll see if we can find our lovely PowerPoint. And we're going to share it, and it is, I hope everybody's seeing this now. Are you seeing this? Let me know. Oh, here we go. All right. So we have a very nice PowerPoint with a very special lady called Little Miss Bossy. Let me get to the beginning of this PowerPoint. Sorry, guys. Now, here we go. Imperative, bossy verbs. There she is. She's our lady, Little Miss Bossy. Look how bossy she looks. She's going to be super bossy. What is a verb? You guys know this already. You're so super clever. It's a doing word. It describes an action. It's an action word. For example, I baked a cake. There he is, Mr. Strong, holding up his big, heavy chocolate cake. He baked a cake. Mr. Strong baked a cake. Now, what is an imperative verb? It's a bossy verb. It makes a sentence bossy. Use Miss Bossy to help you remember. It gives you an order or a command. They are direct and sharp. I know the children in Foxglove last year used to say, sometimes they're not very polite. For example, line up for assembly. Or turn left at the traffic lights. If you've ever been in the car with mom and dad or nana or granddad or auntie or uncle, and you've listened to the sat-nav giving directions, it's not very polite. It's a little bit like, turn left at the traffic lights, go all the way round the roundabout, stop. Or in a recipe, mix the flour and eggs together. Mix the flour and eggs together. Everybody do the action word. Mix the flour and eggs together. Very good. There she is again, our favourite, Miss Bossy. When do we use them? When do we use imperative verbs? We often use them in instructional writing. Yes, lots of answers for that a minute ago. How to wash your woolly mammoth. Remember, you had to write a list of instructions because you're explaining to somebody else what you need to do. What types of instructions can you think of? Put your thinking caps on. What types of instructions can you think of? Tell your mums or dads or your adult who's with you. What kind of instructions can you think of? Recipes. DIY manuals, telling people how to fix things in their houses or how to build things in their houses. Instructions for games, to tell you how to play. Or car directions, like the sat-nav in your car. There's all the Mr. Men and little misses going on a journey. I hope they have their sat-nav on to tell them where to go. For example, hammer the nail into the wood. Let me see you hammering. It's a doing word. Hammer, 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 hammer. Hammer the nail into the wood. Now you know what to do. You need to hammer. Turn right at the zebra crossing. Turn right at the zebra crossing. First, pour the milk into the bowl. Pour the milk into the bowl. Now you know what to do. Bounce across the yard. I'm thinking that's for Mr. Bounce because he's very good at bouncing. Bounce across the yard. There he is, Mr. Bounce. He's bouncing. Now, can you find the bossy verb? First, list the ingredients for the recipe. Can you find the bossy verb there? Anybody found the bossy verb? List the ingredients for the recipe. The word list. We need to make a list. Jump on the spot. Jump! Everybody jump. Jump on the spot. How bossy is that? Super bossy. Next, cut along the dotted line. Cut along the dotted line. Stick the picture in the middle of the card. You've to do it now. It's bossy. Stick it in there. Stick the picture in the middle of the card. Who's that? That's Mr. Greedy. Maybe somebody said, eat the cake, Mr. Greedy. What do you notice? Where do the bossy verbs go in the sentence? Do they go at the end? Or do they go at the beginning, at the start of your sentence? Like when you were washing your woolly mamma. Now, which sentences are bossy? Let us see, and let's see if you can tell your adult which ones are bossy. Listen to them now. Miss Gallivan will try to say them in a bossy voice. Please, very carefully, lift the lid of the box. Am I being bossy?
No.
No. No. Lift the lid of the box. Am I being bossy?
Yeah.
Yay! Miss Gallivan's being super bossy. Gently remove the pie from the oven, if you don't mind. Am I being bossy?
No.
No.
I'm being a little bit too nice. A little bit too nice. Remove the pie from the oven.
Yes.
Quite bossy. Quite bossy.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be very nice if I was like that every day in school, would it? Remove the pie from the oven. Sit down in your seat. Stop it. Would that be fun?
No.
No.
When you have time, check to see if the paint is dry. Is that a bossy sentence?
No, it's not.
No.
Not bossy.
No.
Check to see if the paint is dry, children. Yes, definitely. There's Miss Bossy again. Look at her pointing her finger. Show me how you point your finger when you're being bossy. Check to see if the paint is dry. Remove the pie from the oven. Lift the lid off the box. It's all a bit bossy and all a bit instruction-y and all a bit command-y. Okay, how can we make these sentences? How can we change them to make them bossy? Are you ready? How could we change them to make them bossy? Let's go. In your own time, add 2 drops of food colouring. Which bit do we need to take away? Listen to Miss Gallivan saying it again. In your own time, add 2 drops of food colouring. What could we do that makes it bossy? We could say, add 2 drops of food colouring. We're not being super pleasant about it. Oh no, we're not saying in your own time, add 2 drops of food colouring. We want somebody to do it right now. It's an instruction, for goodness sake. Add 2 drops of food colouring. Now let's try this one. Carefully clap your hands together. Not really bossy enough for me.
It's clap.
Yes, let's see. Make the whole sentence. I heard you saying it's clap. What do we need to do? Clap your hands. Very good. So here we go. Okay, I'm telling you, do it. Clap your hands together. Clap your hands together. We're not being all fluffy and nice. We're giving an instruction. It's important. It's a command. Please, can you fold your paper in half? Is that an instruction?
No.
No. What do we need to do? What do we need to do?
We need to. Can you fold?
You say, fold your paper in half. Fold your paper in half. Say it with me. Fold your paper in half. Because we're giving an instruction. It's an imperative verb. Fold your paper in half. Fold your paper in half. Oh, who's that? I think it might be Mr. Happy. I think he's probably very excited that we're all clear. We understand that imperative verbs are bossy verbs. They are giving a command. They are a word that gives a command. How did everybody like that? Was it okay?
Yes.
Do you feel?
Yes.
Yes. Good, good. Do you feel like you know what an imperative verb is now?
Yes.
What kind of word is it? I want to hear you all shouting it together. What kind of word is an imperative verb?
Action word.
Bossy word. The doing word and a bossy word. It gives you instructions or a command. And where do we find them? Where do we find imperative verbs?
In at the sentence.
Yeah, we find beginning of the sentence, in instructions, recipes, directions when you're in your car. A verb is a bossy verb. A verb is a doing word or an action word, but an imperative verb is a bossy one. It's very, very bossy. I'm so glad to have seen everybody today, seen some of you and heard lots of you. Yes, I am. And I hope to see you all again soon. And let me know if you like the lesson. Give me a big wave. Wave at me. I'm being bossy. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Miss Calavan.
Bye.